Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 23 here on BallySpring with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, I know, I think it was last episode I said you might only see updates going forward just because of the issues I was having on the map, and I don't want to go into that again. You've heard me whine about that enough. And again, I just want to reiterate, I don't think it's the map maker's fault or Giant's fault. It's the fact that I am running on a map that required 2 new game saves now, and I haven't done them just because we're so far along, and I think that's what the issue is. But interestingly enough, I just spent 3 hours on this map getting prepped for this episode, didn't have one crash. I then shut my system off so it could cool for a while, went and had something to eat, and now I'm back on here to try and do, it'll be a little bit more than a half hour of work, but let's say an hour's worth of work. So let's see if we can get through it, because I wanted to do a regular type episode on here, not just a quick update and go. I want to show some harvesting of our new or the additional crop types that are on here. But it is the last month of the third year. Next next month I should say, will mark the start of year 4. So future Farmer Murphy will be coming up right away with the end of quarter update for the end of June. But before he does that, I want to bring you up to speed on some off-camera stuff. And the first one involves this silo here right in front of me. Now, the first update that was done to this map that required a new game save, I actually did start a new game over, but of course we were exactly 1 year in, and I had a bunch of product on the map that I needed to replace. And when I started doing that, I started putting it in this silo. Because the new map, these were multi-fruit silos, but then I discovered they only held 1 million liters, and I had considerably more, especially hay and silage that I needed to store. But I had forgotten that I had filled this silo up until I went to drop something in it here a couple days ago, and it told me the silo was full. And I said, what the heck is in there? So if we look, we can see that there's a fair bit of hay in there, 500,000 liters of hay, 24 or almost 25,000 liters of rye, 17,000 liters of millet, and there was 44,000 liters of barley. Now, the hay and the barley hold a particular significance for us. Now, in May, I had to do all our grass fields. So if we come back here and look, oh, my run button is not working on this controller. Sorry about that. Oh, there it finally went. It's just a little sticky, I guess. I did 30 bales of hay, which is 1.5 million liters, which I calculated was roughly about a full year's supply for the sheep. Just slightly more than what they were currently eating. Now, our sheep pen is full, but if we run down here and take a look, we'll see, hopefully, evidence of, yep, right there, they're not all mature yet. So their food needs will go up. But my plan is next month we have another cutting due, and I'm thinking I'll do another 30 bales of hay, and then with this additional 500,000 liters that's in this silo, I will have enough hay to get me through for the sheep, and I won't need to do it again. Oh, I should mention, initially there was 700 and some thousand liters in there. I think 725, I think it was 735, something like that. And I've been feeding out of this silo the loose hay to the sheep ever since I found it. So, oh, and speaking of cutting, as you may recall, in November of last year, I said we had done potentially the largest grass cutting we would ever do, and that was 8.4 million liters, because we were giving up some of those fields to other purposes. So I said we'd get less. Well, the cutting that I did in May, we actually got 8.35 million liters, basically just short 1 bale. I was really surprised about that, because all we did is we took out some hedges, so we gained a little field space that way. And of course, the new fields we acquired were not prepped properly, so we did get an increased yield on there. But I didn't think it would make up for the, what was it, 3 grass fields we lost, but apparently it did. So that will be what we'll do going forward, or what we can expect, I should say, for yield. Now, the other thing of significance was that 44,000 liters of barley. You'll see it's not there. And that was a huge boost to us, because if we take a look at our productions here, and we go down to our, down near the bottom here, our potato production, you can see we're making pig food again. That's because the only thing our greenhouses doesn't make any product for is the barley, and we were out of barley. So I put that barley in there, and we started making pig food, and we made another additional 74,000 liters, I think it was, of pig food. So that'll really help our backlog on pig food. Certainly not going to overcome the shortfall we're going to experience in the last year, but it does help. Now, speaking of barley, though, you can see I have 103,000 liters in there, and that is because, let's take a look at the map. It's probably the best place. If we look at the map, I harvested 2 fields of barley this morning, and we got 84,000 liters from that, and that was field 150 and 158 here. So I harvested them. I also baled the straw off of those fields. We only got 9 bales, so the multi-fruit buying station is not going to go anywhere, because those 9 bales are not going to get us through the year, and we have no more crops, I don't think, that are going to generate any straw for us. So we're going to have to buy straw, but not a big deal. We're at 5.5 million. I think we can afford a little straw. But the other thing I did, if we look at the fields we own, I bought 2 additional fields. I bought field 92 and field 154. And whoops, I didn't mean to go out of there. And the reason is because they both have soybean, and they're adjacent to our farm, so we could do that. And the reason I did that is this next planting of crops is the only crops we're going to get to harvest, because the planting after that, the only thing that would mature early enough for us to be able to harvest is barley, and like I said, it's for July, the last month, not going to do us a lot of good. So when I saw those 2 soybean fields, and we have one of our own here, 160, I'm thinking this next crop cycle, I won't need to plant any soybeans. So on all of the additional fields, or all of our arable fields, we'll either put in sorghum or barley, so we can maximize the amount of pig food we can make out of the next harvest, not the one for this year, but the one from a year from now, because that'll be our last opportunity to make it. So that's what I'm going to do. Soybean, if we go back in here and look at our production, is what we need the least of. Only 100 soybeans out of 1,000 liters of pig food, and we are getting soybeans from our greenhouses. So that's what my plan is. I'll harvest those, and because soybean doesn't need any fertilization, the yield on those fields is not bad. It's only down a couple percentage points off of optimum because of lime. So that is fine. We'll take those soybeans and we'll throw them in there. And because, like I said, the next crop cycle is the last one we can make pig food from. Okay, hopefully I was trying to go through that as quick as I could, so I didn't have a game crash. So what we are going to do as soon as Future Farmer Murphy is done with his update is we have a field of peas. Actually, you can see them right over there, and the harvester's sitting there ready for us to go. And then We can't see it, but down near the middle cow farm there, we have a field of mustard. So I'm hoping to show a good portion of both of those harvests. So that is what my plan is. So I'm going to turn you over to Future Farmer Murphy. I think I've covered off everything. Yes, I believe I have. And so I will see you down at the pea field when Future Farmer Murphy is done with you. So I'll see you there. Well, thank you, Past Farmer Murphy. So we have just completed our 3rd year, and on the production side, the only thing we need to talk about anymore are the greenhouses. So I did add another 3 months of productions to each of them, and still the only one complete is the sugar beets. So we need to carry on with the others, but that is the only outstanding thing we have as far as productions go. Now on the custom crop side, I did mark off the peas and mustard, although we technically harvested those in the 1st month of the next quarter. I just didn't want to forget about them, so I just marked them off, so they're marked off as complete. So that just leaves the animals. So for the cows, we're at 628 out of 1,500, and we have nearly 17 months of feed on hand, and we have another grass cutting coming up next month. So I expect the next update, that number will increase even further. But we do need to keep in mind we need to add nearly 900 cows, and the demand for feed will definitely go up, and we'll start eating into that backlog. But we'll see. We may be very close on feed for the cows. Now the next one, the pigs, we're at 300 out of 2,000, and our feed on hand went down. Now I double checked my math with the numbers I have, but I'm wondering if I recorded something wrong, because with that extra barley we found, I would have expected that number to increase, and it actually went down by 4 months. So I'm not sure if I made a mistake when I recorded the numbers or the amount of feed they were eating in a month. The next update will tell, because we are going to have should have more pig food made by then from the crops on this harvest, but I kind of question that one a little bit. I would have thought that one should have gone up, not down. And lastly, the sheep. So the sheep are done. We have 1,000 out of 1,000. We have 15 months of feed on hand for them currently. I think I'm still going to make the 30 bales of hay. Just I know which fields it takes to do that. And like I said, we have a number of juveniles, and so our feed demands will go up. And if we have a little extra hay, well, so be it. But that is it. Pretty short and sweet update. It's largely just going to be the animals in the greenhouses going forward. So we will see you at the next update. Now back over to Past Farmer Murphy. Why, thank you, Future Farmer Murphy. Well, we're down here at the pea field, and when I came and stood in this spot to start recording, I looked at the field info. I saw red, and it said nitrogen 100 out of 200, and thought, oh man, did I forget to fertilize this field? But it's just a spot I missed. If we move into the field a little bit, you can see it's perfect, so just missed the spot. But I wanted to show you this. We have a new upgraded harvester, and it is the Mack Trucker Reaper. Now this has a lot of unrealistic options on it. Some we're using, some we're not. But I went with this rather than the one out of the Colossus pack, because you can see it's a pretty short wheelbase. And the one in the Colossus pack is based on a large class harvester. I think this one is like, I'm going to guess, it looked kind of like a case to me, but maybe it's just the color I've got it in. But it's got a nice short wheelbase, which is very helpful for this map. Now, the reason I wanted to upgrade was because of this Crosoni folding cereal crop header. This means that I don't need to use a header trailer. so it's much easier to get around the map. Now I have used this header with that, what was it, a 7347 Massey that we had, and it works good on flat ground, but as you know, we have some hills here on BallySpring, and it started to struggle a little bit, so I wanted some more horsepower. So that was one of the reasons I went with this harvester. And if we step outside and get it cranked up here, get the harvester unfolded, it's got a really neat unfolding animation on it. Now this is a real life header, I'm going to assume, because it is branded, and the Sony do make folding corn headers, so no reason they couldn't make this. Now this header is slightly smaller than the one we were using with our Massey. It's a 7.2 rather than a 7.6, and it doesn't go any faster, and I didn't go with the unreal speed on the harvester anyways. Now I don't know if the speed rating is just road speed, because this one's 47 and I think the other one is like 87, but anyways, in the field we're limited by the oh, I always do that, shut it off when it's already running. We're limited by the header anyway. Now these peas, once they're harvested, I'm just going to sell them off, and I am also going to sell off the other crops we have sitting in our silos that we're waiting for 2 years to be sold at best price. What was it, rye and millet, and the one up above? Oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze. So they've waited 2 years to be sold at best price, so I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm just going to sell them off, and we're at, what, 5.5 million. Anyway, it's not like we need the cash. So all of these custom crops that we don't need for our productions or can't feed to our animals are just going to get sold. But anyways, oh, did I mention I did go with the upgraded capacity? I think I forgot to mention that. This has a 250,000 liter capacity. Now, that is nice, so I don't have to stop and unload, but the biggest reason I did that is, like when I did those barley fields, I actually didn't harvest them. I just did a headland and had a worker do it, and they just completed the entire field. I didn't need to come up and unload them. So I can just turn them loose and, you know, kind of fire and forget. That was the biggest reason. And like I said, we've got all our other harvesters are modified or unrealistic. Why not our cereal crop? And it's just, like I said before, I actually really don't use much. Like, I'll bend the realism rules, but you know, I haven't used really cheaty stuff. But there's just so much off-camera work that I just want to get through as quick as I can. And like, we are just at the end of year 3. This is the last month of year 3. And up until like quite recently, we've been using all very realistic processes. So now that we're just in a waiting game pretty much for the animals for the next 2 years, and we're not going to be showing a lot of this stuff on camera, I just want to be able to get through it as quick as I can off camera. And it is kind of fun to use this stuff because, like I said, I haven't used much of it in the past. Now, touch wood, so far no crashes, so that's awesome. But if it does crash, like I've got autosave on, I'll probably pause here in a little bit and just do a save. But if we do crash, I'll just finish it off camera, and then we'll move to the mustard and do that, and I'll let you know what we got. But seems to be working pretty good. I tried to color it as close as I could to Massey Ferguson. There's just Massey has some white on it. There was no spot to really put white. But yeah, it looks pretty close to a Massey, I think. Now earlier, you know what? I don't know if I mentioned. I'll mention it again, and I apologize if I did. I baled up the straw on those barley fields and got 9 bales. so that's certainly not going to carry us through the year. So the multi-fruit buying station is going to stay, because we're going to need to buy straw. But again, it shouldn't be a big issue. We're going to have the money for it. I apologize if I did mention that earlier, but I don't think I did. I think I forgot to. When we head down to the mustard field, we'll make a stop. I'll show you another. It's a cheaty thing, but it's very, very helpful. And some of you may not be aware. You might find it useful, so I'll show you. It's a way of handling all the pig food pallets that come out of our pig food production, because they all come out in pallets and they are not liftable by hand. So I found a way to deal with them that's kind of makes life a little easier, because I end up having a fair few of those, because they only hold 1,000 liters, and we have enough product in there right now to make 500,000 liters of pig food. So that's 500 pallets to deal with. Not going to get a lot of peas off this field. I say we're about half done, and we're at 9,000 liters, so 18 to 20,000 liters, something like that maybe. Alright, well, I think I will leave you there. Like I said, there's no unloading going to be necessary. I'll bring up our truck and trailer to dump these in, and I'll just run and sell them at whatever sell point has the best price. And like I said, I'll meet you almost at the mustard field, the next stop. And I'll show you something at our pig food production regarding pallet handling. So we'll catch up with you there. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I use to basically auto load all of those pig food pallets. I think this is a global, well, if we walk up to it, does it say, yeah, Global Goods Transport Pallet. It's by 82 Studios. There's two versions, I think a 10,000 liter and a 100,000 liter. Pretty sure this is the 100,000 liter. But if I drive this up here and just position it just right, yeah, it can keep spawning, it'll just keep filling. Pretty handy when you've got a ton of pallets to deal with. Now, of course, you could use an auto load trailer, but I've just been using that and let them spawn in there and fill it. I've been running down here with a small trailer, basically to pick up like the corn and canola and that to throw in the pig trough. That's why I have this auger here, because I also come down and pick up these extra sugar beets for the BGA. And I just put it right into that sugar beet cut trailer. And even though these are liftable pallets, the trailer's a little high, so I just use this auger. So anyways, the point is I could just run that pallet over. I'm pretty sure it would drop it into the pig pen, but I'm coming down with that small trailer anyways for these other goods, so I just dump it in there and make a couple trips every time I pick these other pallets up. I could use a bigger trailer, I suppose, and put it in the silo, but to put it in the pig pen itself, I have to use a small trailer. Just just the way the pig pen's designed. So anyways, that's what I found to do that, because I was using even the big bag lifter that got, oh sorry, these darn trees here make it tricky. What am I getting hung up on here? Maybe I need to go in cabin B. Oh no, definitely not better. And I was just bragging about how easy it is to get around, but that is a tricky corner, because I usually just go into the grass field to come out, and then you're going the right direction, and it's a lot easier to handle. Anyways, if you're looking for a slick way to handle a bunch of pallets, that works pretty well. And it just clips actually right on. Oops, sorry, I accidentally muted my mic there. I was just saying it's pretty convenient, and it just clips under the front of your telehandler. You don't need forks or anything to use with it. Oh, look at that. A spot that it can't get through. Come on, I'm going backwards, not forwards. Why are you climbing up there? Bragged on it a little bit too soon. Actually, maybe what I'll do, if I unattach it and get backed up, I can. It's the harvester itself is hung up. There. Well, of course now. You know what? I think I'm going to have to reset this and bring it back from the shop. So there's our mustard field right there across the way. I'll get this over there and I'll bring you back. Now you see, that's Murphy's Law. You're bragging about how good it is for getting around the map, and then you get hung up. But that is tight, that bridge, but I often go that way because the corner that we have to make going this way is also really tight. So that's why I brought you back in, to see how we make out getting around that corner. Because it's pretty tight, although there is another route we could take. I don't think the corner is quite as bad. And we can cut across our grass field as if we go this way. Now there's trees, but I think we've got a pretty good entrance into this grass field here, and we can just cut across the grass field to get it. We don't have to make it that corner into the yard with those brick walls. Is pretty tight. Oh look, I missed a bale sitting there. Oh, there's a gate on this one. I didn't think there was. Well, we'll open it up. We'll give it a try. What the heck? Come on. Why is that gate not opening for me now? Oh, there we go. This wasn't in the right spot. Just make sure that ladder was folded out of the way here. Now that bale actually would be accounted for, because I used the bale counter on the baler. I just didn't get it picked up and put into the storage, obviously. There. Yeah, this track here that runs out to the road, right by the road, it's fairly narrow, and it's a stone entranceway. Although I can get the truck and trailer in there, but I'm literally scraping paint on both sides to get it around that corner. But the truck and trailer barely makes it across that bridge. It's really, really tight there too. Now we'll show a bit of this harvest, and then I think we'll call it an episode there, because I did check. As usual, I've yacked more than I thought I have. So the next update will be due the end of September, Now, we'll see what is going on if we've got some more custom crops to show. If it's more of the same old, then we may get into either like every 6-month update, or just do an episode with a couple updates and comments of what's been happening. You know, kind of note any changes or anything. We'll see. To be determined when we get there. But we do kind of want to, you know, monitor the animal growth as we go. Oh, just hang on. Oh, sorry about that. It was actually an alarm I had set on my phone that I'd forgotten about. Always got to be something. Anyways, like I said, we'll see what happens for the next episode. Now, I will prep these fields, but I'm not going to plant them, I think. I'm going to wait till spring. And really, the only crop we could plant this fall would be the barley. But I'm going to see what we get for harvest off of like the sorghum fields and the soybean fields and that. So in the spring, I'll try and kind of balance them out, as you know, make it the best educated guess I can to even things out. And there's no advantage for us to having the barley in early, so. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, and the peas, we got exactly 6 liters less than 18,000. Remember I said 18,000 to 20? That was 17,994. What we got in peas. And we're not going to get very much mustard. Not surprising. I don't think it's a very high yielding crop. So yeah, I will get these like mulched and lined, but that's all I'll do this fall to these fields. Nothing too exciting there, that's for sure. And next month is grass work again. It seems like I just finished it. I am really interested to see where we're going to be at pig food wise once this harvest is done. And I believe, I think it's this month we're up to 300 pigs. I don't think that's what was in the update. I don't think we were there yet. I think that's new burst this month. But it'll be interesting to see once these harvests are in and the pig food is made and how much we're going through, because we'll have a larger quantity of pigs. We'll have a better idea, a more accurate idea of what we're going to need as far as pig food goes. And in the last year, the beginning of the last year, we'll have to see where we're at and buy a bunch of pigs. Well, I do, what is it, a 5-month gestation on those, so we get 2 groups. So if we're at 300 now, we should be, you know, at a year from now, be at 900. If I'm right on that gestation time. And 2,000 is our goal. So actually, I think the rules state we had to have them in place for 3 months. So we would maybe be at very close to 2,000 at the end of year 5, but we need to be at 2,000 basically 3 months before the end of year 5. So we'll have to take that into account. Anyways, we'll get her done. I guess it's just putting in the work now. That's all we got to do. Wait for the animals. Now I could have done like Josh did on his. He just went and bought a whole bunch. Like I think he ended his like maybe 3.5 years. But I had mine lined out to actually go the full 5 years and get as many animals due to what I've been calling organic growth as possible. So we're just going to carry on with that. Especially if the map behaves like it's been behaving today, it's just been perfect. So that's great. Anyways, I think we are very close to having 30 minutes or more in the bank. So I am just going to finish this up. You know what? I will leave you there. I will finish this up off camera, and then I'll just bring you back in to tell you how much we got, so I don't forget to pass that information along, and that's where we'll wrap it up. So I'll catch up with you in just a few minutes. Well, there we go, done. A little hard to see there, 3,565 liters. We're going to be rich now. Anyways, that is it for this episode. And pretty much, like I said, all there is to do this month is feed the animals and look after these fields. So pretty much all there is for this month. So if you are still tagging along on this epic journey, I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget about that old notification bell if you want to see when other content like this lands. But for this episode here on BallySpring, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.